All right, we're live. What's up, Nick?
What's going on, Dustin? Is it Friday already?
Oh, it's so Friday.
Jeez.
It is so Friday, man.
Man,
I'm so happy for that.
I'm feeling older by the week with this show. It's crazy how fast it goes by.
It is, isn't it? It is, man. I tell you, these weeks just tick on off too, man. What you got going on this week? What's happening in your world?
A little less on the detail, a little more on the real estate side. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
we got a rental going on the market soon, so we're putting a little sweat equity in and getting
nice.
floors and painting and doing some fun stuff there.
Yep.
But you're only able to do that if you've got a shop that's running smooth, and we got our dog grooming business and that's going smooth, and we got a bunch of fun stuff going on.
You got to have things in place to keep those going, so you can go out and look to do other things. I mean, we have our shop managers out a couple days this week, and so next man up kind of mentality. And so we got little Ben here. He's running the show while Trey's out, and I tell you, man, things are going great. Things are going, and it's our busy time, dude. We have boats coming out our, what out here, dude. That's crazy.
I just checked the weather app, and we're gonna hit 50 degrees by next week.
Dude, we're mad if we get down to 50 degrees. Like we're upset about it.
We're so excited. I got the shorts coming out. We're ready. We're ready to rock at 50 degrees.
Hey, you want to hear a funny story? You got to listen to this.
What do we got?
So I was in a group text with my dad and the shop manager on Sunday, I think. And it's, hey guys, I checked the weather. This is from my dad. Hey guys, check the weather, and looks like we need to prep the shop for a freeze.
Yeah,
and it was getting to like 32.
So what does that mean for you? Prep it for a freeze.
Oh, so we have exposed water lines outside.
Okay,
and so we have to just drain the water lines, bring the power washers out of the wash bay and stuff. Like it's not a whole lot. We put a light on the well. But it's just so funny. Like, I mean, I imagine how low the temperatures get there. Like 32 is probably.
It gets chilly. Yeah, 32. If it's sunny and 32, I'm in a short sleeve.
Wow. Yeah. So we're freezing down here. 32 is literally freezing.
Yeah. But nothing else too crazy this week. It's been a good week. Hopefully good on your end as well.
Yeah, same here, man. We're going to talk about the boat show at the end of the show, but we're knee deep in planning for that. It starts next week. It's next Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I'll be down there all week setting up, man. It's a big event that we put on, and we're excited. It's here. You've been planning for a year, so like it's time. So, but
I'm just curious, how did that boat show sort of start? You know what I mean? Obviously, you're detailing, right? So maybe someone else is, I think that's a really smart move. We'd love to get a little background if you got a couple. If you got a minute.
I have a minute. Yeah, I love to tell the story. So we were heavily involved in the boat shows in our area. We would go and set up booths there and talk about our detailing services. We also own a retail store, so we would sell our clothing, talk about detailings, and they were indoor boat shows. Well, in March of 2020, whenever COVID happened, they canceled these shows.
Yeah.
And so actually they canceled in January, and the show was supposed to be in March. So we had like 2 months notice that they were not going to have the show that year. And I'm like, dude, this is a big portion of our first quarter income. And it's our launching point for detail. So I'm like, screw that, dude. We're going to do our own boat show. Like, you cancel, we're doing it. And so we just started. I mean, literally, I made the decision we were going to do our own. And it started small in the planning side of things. I was just going to do something in our parking lot, which we have 6.5 acres here, so it's not terribly small. But
you got a little bit of room. You got a little elbow room.
Got a little room. And so, but within a few hours of conversation, we had enough people there that we ended up at Battleship Park, which is down in Mobile on the bay. Yeah. And we rent the whole property. The entire thing. And it's a big event, man. We'll have over 100 vendors, couple hundred boats. Yamaha's our presenting sponsor. Stage, we have concerts each night or during the day, and then we have a big concert on Saturday night. We have a barge that we push in for boats on the water. So it's a big deal, man.
That sounds awesome. Now, this is going to transition perfectly into this week's segment, like beating the competition.
Yes, it will.
If you're a detail shop, you put together a little car show. You put together a little, cars and coffee type situation with some people in the area. All of a sudden, people are coming for that, and you're getting that exposure.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Now, anyone that's going to that boat show, they're like, hey, I know where I'm getting my boat detailed. I think that's just genius. I love the idea.
You said it. Our topic is competition and beating the competition, right? Beating the competition. Identifying what your competition is not. My first step, like if I'm saying, what do I got to do to win? What do I got to do to win the race?
Yep.
I want to find out what they're not doing, and I want to do that.
Great. Yeah.
And so, like, if nobody's doing the cars and coffee, if he's doing a boat show, I'm doing a boat show.
Yeah.
And you got to put your money where your mouth is. You know what I'm saying? You got to do it. You can't just say it. You got to be about it.
I just think that's just awesome. You know what I mean? Just being able to grab those customers that might, or those potential customers, right?
Yeah.
They're coming for the boat show. They're not there even thinking about detailing.
Nope.
But now, man, I see Easy N over there. I see them over there. You know what I mean? You see that branding and building that awareness. Once you get to a certain size, it makes a lot of sense.
And think about this, right? Think about if our staff can pull off putting a boat show together, thousands and thousands of people, hundreds of exhibitors. Don't you think we can clean your car or your boat? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't you think we can put that plan together too?
Yep.
So it puts us, and we're not saying that you got to go out and do a whole boat show, but like,
no, but I think starting at the top there, right? That's like, man, that's at the top, man. You're at the top, Dustin. That's awesome. Well, I love that.
It's the way competition goes. And, you know, we kind of like, you know, you're laying the groundwork. Everything you do, you're laying the groundwork for your competition to follow in behind you. So that's me, you know, step one. We talk about beating competition. I'm thinking, you know, like I'm identifying what's missing in the market. Like if I'm a detailer, right? And I'm like, what do I got to do to win? What do I got to do to beat my competition? I'm going to identify what's missing in the market. I'm going to say, what are these detailers? What is my competition? We learned how to identify our competition. We learned how to identify our customers last week. Now I'm going, what is missing? What are they not doing to get that customer in the door? And I'm doubling down on that.
And then on the flip side, right, that's sort of looking out a little bit, looking in and saying, hey, what do you do really, really well? And saying, hey, I don't even care what anyone else is doing. I know what I do really well, whether that's polishing a car, a ceramic, or, you know, customer service, professionalism, you know, getting these cars back to them in a timely manner. I do something really, really well, and doubling down, put that in your marketing, put that in on your menu. Hey, I'm going to get your car back, and it's going to be something 24 hours, whatever it is. You know, and just staying in your lane there for what you do really well.
Yeah, something that you're already doing. What can I do better at? Like, how can I focus on that? So, like, a self audit is a great place to start. You know, if I'm, you know, what can I do? If I have the eye for design and I think that I can take my uniforms and my shop to the next level in professionalism because I know how to pick out a nice looking uniform and not really nice colors. See, I'm telling the things that I'm opposite at, by the way.
Okay, I was going to say, next thing I know, I'm going to see Dustin at the fashion show.
Absolutely not. I wear the same thing every day. I would not change if I didn't have to, if it wasn't like, if it was sociably acceptable for me to wear the same shit every day.
Yeah.
Like every day, 7 days a week, I would. Like, I have no eye for that. Like, I don't care. Like,
I'm in a black t-shirt and khaki pants every day, man. I go and buy the
same here.
Acceptable or not, you know what I mean? I'm gonna do.
Dude, it's just not important. It's a less decision. So, but like, if that's your thing, right? Like, if that's what you do great at, we'll be great at that thing. Start there. Start with what you know that you can do. That doesn't cost extra money to say, what am I great at? And then start spending time in there. But it takes self-audit. Like, you got to be willing to look at yourself and go, what am I not doing? And what can I do better?
And at the same time, right, diving into like the detailing world, elevating those services and saying, hey, I'm at this level right now. Right. I want to provide this level of service. I want to be the best in my area at this. It doesn't matter what it is, but you deciding to do that, and your competition isn't going to be, they're not focusing on that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yep. So picking what that is and what service specifically you want to elevate. For us, you know what I mean? We were using a third party, you know, ceramic coating that we didn't, that the market wanted, right? Because the market was like, hey, do you guys do ceramic coatings? Do you guys do ceramic coatings? Like, yeah, absolutely. But then we're like, man, I don't really like the product we're using. You know what I mean? So we're going out, we're figuring out what's most important to the customer. Hey, they want a warranty. Okay, great. Hey, they want to make sure that we have something that can go on their rims and their windows that isn't going to smear. That is
absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So us going and doing that self-audit and saying, hey, we want to elevate our ceramic coating services. Right. And that's what we did. And we partnered with someone else. And then, you know, now we're able to have an elevated service in a market where nobody else has that.
That's right. And that's beating your competition. That's identifying what you can do to change. You know, what we did is it was big in the marine industry. It was like the good old boys club, right? Like, marine detailing was the guy toting around a buffer over his shoulder, walking down the boat dock, no schedule.
Yep.
Show up when I want to, make a
Yep.
couple $1,000. You may see me in a week or two, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That was the type of detailing that was offered here, and especially in the marine world. Auto detailing was a little better, but it lacked professionalism. It lacked like treating it like a true business. And so I knew that I was good at business. I knew that I could do this thing very well. And so I said, you know what, we're gonna run this like a business. We're gonna treat this. We're gonna talk. We're gonna engage with our customers on a business, on a professional level. We're not gonna say we're less like we're just the detailer. We're gonna engage with them eye to eye on business level. Typically, you're dealing with business owners when you're talking about big detailing, right?
Yeah.
Boat owners and not just all boat, but your larger boats and stuff. Like you're dealing with a lot of business owners, and we wanted to deal with them eye to eye on a business level. So we needed to treat this thing as a business. And that's what we really hyper focused on, especially as I was just starting and learning to grow. I doubled down on the business side of things.
I like that. Again, the professionalism and all those different aspects in business. But it takes time to sort of, again, you talk business, you talk accounting, finance, marketing, you know what I mean? You got all these different aspects that isn't detailing, right?
That's right. No, it has nothing.
Part. Yeah.
Yeah. So far from that. And you have to, and it's easy to say, well, I'm a professional, but then, you're like, it's a whole, like the looks got to match the effort thing. And so like cords and uniforms and the way that your mobile unit, is it organized and clean? Like it's all got to go together. You can't just say, well, I'm the professional detailer, but then I open your door and shit's falling out your truck, or, like your bottles are laying everywhere and towels are on the ground, the little things that take away from the professionalism.
And I think that thing is something that's just, it takes a lot of time and effort to even, let's say you've been detailing for 5 years, you know what I mean? Doesn't matter where you are in your shop, but being able to say, man, I gotta put a little sweat equity into repainting these walls. I gotta make sure it looks professional in here, man.
You're never done. It's never completely done. You're always working on this thing.
Yeah. And again, people deciding that if they want to put in that time and effort, that's how you're going to beat that competition.
Yep.
I don't what
boils down to a mindset. In my opinion, it's a mindset. Like when you flip the switch, you say, okay, I want to win this race. We say it like that because it is competition, and you got to flip that switch in your mind and say, I'm willing to do what it takes. And so self-auditing and figuring out what they're doing, figuring out what you're doing and what can I be great at. All this you gotta hyper focus on, and it's not something like you set it and forget it like the Traeger grill. You've got to consciously daily focus on this thing. And then, oh, by the way, it doesn't stop there. You got to tell the customer that's what you're great at, and you got to show them. And that's all done through the marketing side, which we'll talk about later.
Oh, if you're doing anything new or improvements, you let every customer know.
Everybody know.
Single, you put a fresh coat of paint on a wall, you're like, man, did you see that wall? That's a nice looking wall right there.
Yeah, and it's free content. It's easy content. It's a free post, right? Yeah. Like the before and after of your wall, the during, the time lapse of it. I know Chris, he's right off camera here. He did when we added the floors in our shop, he did a cool time lapse of us laying that. But it's content, right? We're showing the customers that we are reinvesting into the shop. We're doubling down on our professionalism. We're doing the things that we need to do to serve you better,
That's awesome. I got another thing that I kind of do is I like to diversify. You know what I mean? We added the mobile detailing, right? We're jumping into the PPF. We're doing some different things here. Not necessarily. Does it beat the competition? Yes, because they're not.
Sure does.
Right? Because it's an empty space. It's a white space there that we're like, man, we're gonna go grab that market share. That's phenomenal. But I'm trying to put in a perspective of like a smaller shop of diversifying their services, right? If you're doing just polishes, waxes, shampoos, and saying, hey, you know what? Everybody kind of does that. What's something else?
What are things that I can add that my competition's not doing? And what's cool is it doesn't even have to be a whole nother service. It can be something little. It can be like an aftercare kit for your ceramic coatings. Like it can be little things that you just do differently that you can add.
And I think that's great because, again, for our ceramic coating, we do a 6-month maintenance that's mandatory if they want the warranty, right? So something like that, no one else in my area does. You know what I mean? And we can do that either mobile, in store. You know what I mean? And
that's huge, being able to offer that mobile.
Yeah, being able to do that. You know, the first one I actually include in the price. So the first one's free. We're going to see them in 6 months no matter what. They're going to love that service so much, but we're going to see them another 7 times after that. You know what I mean? And that's how you build that recurring customer base. You know, because that's a partnership there with that ceramic coating. But we don't want to just dive into ceramic coatings. What else? What else are we diversifying?
Well, you know, I mean, I think so. Something else, like you think about beating your competition and offering service. You know, what's another cool service is a pickup drop off. Like if you can offer them, we do this different. This is another thing that separates us, right? On boats, we stopped offering mobile detailing. Okay, but we will absolutely come pick your boat up and bring it to our shop. And do the boat and then deliver it back. So we're painless, right? You know, we're frictionless. We want to make this thing as easy as possible. We want you to not feel the pain of getting a detail.
And then you're also going to pay for it. You're also going to say, hey, look, the place down the road doesn't offer that. You know what I mean? So they're calling, they're like, man, you know, if they're pricing it out, but their time, hey, guess what? We're going to come pick it up for you. Yeah. You know what I mean? We're going to save you that on that time.
What's that worth?
Better service. You know what I mean? And you can't beat that. You know,
you're right. These are little things that you can do, but you don't know unless you know what's going on. Like you don't know these things that you should focus on unless you know what's going on in your area and in your market. Remember, guys, identify your competition. Don't go look at the guy that's not your competition. What's he doing? That doesn't matter. Like if your competition is not the local car wash, right? It's not, and it's not ours. We don't give a shit what they're advertising down the road. If they're doing rock chip repair or whatever, we're not going in and which we do offer, but we're not worried about them, or we're not worried about the new ceramic spray that they've added as a $3 add-on. That's not our competition. We're not going to go compete with that. We're going to compete with is what with the shop that's of our caliber doing the similar services and competing for that same customer. And we're going to be aware. We're not going to hyper focus, but we're going to be aware of what they're doing.
Now we're a hand wash. So, we're watching, man, we got to watch everybody under the sun.
You do have to watch everybody. Yeah. Literally.
But the funny thing is like also being able to see like, hey, what is it that a machine wash can't do? Hey, if you're in a shop detailing and you've got a lot of mobile detailers in the area, hey, what is it that the mobile detailers can't do that you can do? Hey, guess what? I can store it, bring it, drop it off. I can keep it an extra day. You know what I mean? It's different thing. Maybe they're on vacation. I can pick it up, bring it to the shop, store it inside, temperature controlled, environment. Figuring out what those weak points are of your competition is going to make a big difference in figuring out what services to add, what services to modify, elevate. I think that's a good sort of way to look at it.
Yeah, and think about this, right? So we're sitting here saying, keep an eye on your competition. So we have to assume they're doing the same thing to us. And I mentioned this a little bit earlier in the show, but I want to talk about it for a minute. Is if you're watching them, they're watching you. So you are inevitably laying the groundwork for them to beat you, right? You are literally giving them the roadmap and saying, this is how a great business is ran. Follow me along. So you cannot stop. You cannot get complacent. Eric Boston says, polar opposite here. I have to come up with new ideas. Competition here is small. They follow my shop's trends. Right.
That's awesome.
That's what I'm talking about. So you're teaching other businesses how to be great all along the way. So you always have to be improving. You're doing
the hard part, Eric. You're doing the hardest part, that creative part. Trying to think of something new out of nothing. That's the hardest part.
Look, we got a cheat code. You know what we do?
What?
We look at things like we look at big companies, big corporations like Ford, Chevrolet. I love to watch Doritos, the company Doritos. Watch their marketing. Watch what they do. They've got millions and millions of dollar budget for marketing. They're like, let them figure it out and then just go copy them. Go do things like what they do, because I promise you, they got people there paid to think it through. And they're teaching us. So let
their brain power. Use their little brain trust that they got there. They're on salary over there.
No, you don't have to pay for that, dude. Just watch. But so seriously, you're like you said, like Eric said, you're always laying the groundwork. So you have to stay one step ahead. So this is not a thing that you fix and don't touch it again. It's evolving every day. It changes daily.
But the other thing, Eric, remember, if you're in first and they're in second, imitation is the best form of flattery.
Man.
You know what I mean? That I'm honored when I roll in a new, ceramic spray wax that we put at the end, right? Oh, guess what? 3 months later, someone else is going to do it. But we've already gone through all those headaches, right? And we're going to be providing a better service. And then guess what? They're focusing on that and getting that ironed out. I'm already onto the next thing. I already know I offer it, right? Let them play catch up. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
Right. Implementation takes time. Okay. So just because you flip the button, you say, I offer this new thing as a company, like it takes you time to get great at it. So that time that it's taking them to get great at is the time that you're spending figuring out the next thing to be great at. So you're always evolving. You're always kind of stepping up in it.
The other thing is I think it's interesting to look at the flip side, right? Because again, from the hand car wash side, the number one thing people wanted was a monthly membership, because you think car wash, you're like, hey, they want a membership, and the way I sort of looked at it is like, man, we're not doing thousands and thousands of cars. We're human beings. We just can't work like robots.
Sure.
So trying to figure out what the market also wants to be able to, because I'm going to be able to offer a better membership because we provide a superior service.
Absolutely.
But just making sure that if it's something the market wants, give it to them. But make sure it's worth your time. You know what I mean? For us, it's a lot more expensive if you want it, but hey, no one asks anymore.
That's right. Serve the industry. But here we go. So here's pricing where it steps in. So being able to understand what this service costs you and charge accordingly, because price is an issue. And so like you could have went in there and tried to compete at an automated wash level.
Oh God,
at $20 a month. And ran your guys in the ground and always been like beating your head against the wall going, why can't we make money doing this?
I like peace. No, there's none of that. No.
You're right. So knowing how much it costs you to do a service, and that's a whole nother show, right? And I can't wait to have that
one in, because I think I'm excited to jump into that guy.
Oh, it's a great one. And it's one of the biggest missing pieces to our industry is solid understanding of pricing.
Yeah.
And I've talked about it numerous times. I love to have that conversation because it's not as hard as it seems.
I'd love to have that conversation with you too, Dustin.
Yeah, man, let's do it. So yeah, but you know what? Being able to offer these things, understanding what your competition is doing, right? Understanding what they're doing, and then say, okay, what can I go be great at? I mean, we're going to beat that horse dead, but that's at the end of the day, you can't do it all. So you got to focus in on some of it and fine tune it, be great at it, and then kind of evolve along the way.
And I think we jumped into a lot of stuff sort of in shop, us versus the guy down the street.
Yeah.
I think we talk a little marketing. You know what I mean? I think the marketing side of it is something that, hey, you're competing for that customer on the road, but you're competing for their eyeballs online.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You got two different battles going on, and you can't let one just go by the wayside. You got to be able to focus on both to a certain degree. What are your thoughts on that marketing social media side for your business?
Well, marketing is how you tell your customer you're better. Marketing is how your customer knows without calling you and say that's the window into the shop, right?
Yeah.
And so you use that to focus on what it is that you're different about. So if we know we're going to beat our competition because we know that professionalism is lacking in our industry, right? Professionalism is in our market. The first thing we're doing when we start our marketing is showing how professional we are. We're showing the collared shirts. We're showing the glove zone. We're showing the clean shop. We're showing the customer communication. Like we are laying it out to them. So we're saying, hey, you can use Bob down the street and, maybe he's going to communicate to you. Maybe he's not. But here's what's going to happen when you communicate to us. And we don't even have to tell him what Bob's doing. All we're going to do is tell him what we're going to be great at.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And again, there's that social media side, right? Where you're going to be pumping out a lot of stuff, and that stuff's going to go to people that are probably already following you. And then you got to make those financial decisions. Hey, am I going to market this out to other people? You know what I mean? So what I always say is like, hey, focus on just the process of creating the content and get really good at that. And you know what? Yeah, your followers are going to see that. Great. And then once you start saying, hey, look, this is good. I like this. This is better than anything else that's in the area. Throw a couple dollars at it. See how people react to it. You're going to get eyeballs that don't usually see your stuff. And I think that's really important.
So, and marketing is a whole nother show, but listen, I came up before paid social media was really a thing. I mean, it was just starting to happen where you could boost ads and stuff. Matter of fact, my first business page wasn't a business page at all. You couldn't even have one. You had a personal page, and
yeah,
it was a business, right? And then you converted it over. But it's pennies, guys. And I always tell the story when you pull up to a red light and you look around, everybody's not reading the newspaper or, like
I am.
reading about they're on their phone, on social media, and so you need to be in that place. You need to be in that place. If you're competing for these customers, you need to be where they're at, singing your song louder than anybody else is singing their song.
If you're saying that, it's a bad day to be a billboard. That's
and listen, it took me years. It took me over 10 years to come up, to justify a billboard. We did radio, we did print, we did TV, we've done it all. And so now we do have a billboard, a local billboard, which we use it. We're able to justify it because we divided amongst a few other companies that I own.
Yeah.
Right. So the exposure is worth it.
Absolutely.
But don't let that be your only avenue of marketing right now. You need to be in social media first, and then let those things work later on down.
No, I agree. The other thing is I think the website and sort of social media versus website, you know what I mean? If you're a small business, right? I see a lot of small business, they don't even use a website, which is fine, right? Because they're able to just use that social media engine, to drive their business. But slowly but surely taking a look at like, hey, for whatever it's worth, build a website, get on Google. People are searching on Google more than any other place.
Absolutely.
And again, that's just, it's going to drive your business, but it's also going to, if your competition's not doing it, you better be on there.
Think about this, right? This isn't rocket science, right? Think about you as a consumer, you as a customer. Forget detailing. You want to know something. Where's the first place you go to look it up? Like if you're looking for something you don't have a clue about, I don't know, pet hair, getting your dog groomed.
You pull out that big book, the yellow pages, and you're flipping.
Yeah. You drive around till you find a billboard that says,
that tells you just drive around. You're just trying to find one. No,
man, I don't know.
Google, and even sometimes I use Google Maps more than the actual search.
Absolutely. Because now it's going to look near me, And so like that, like use your brain with these things. Some of these things is you don't even have to think about it, guys. And then what do? You go see if they have a website. Like the first thing you do, like if you can't just call them directly, all right, let me just check these guys out.
Yeah.
It's through their website, because their website is like the gateway to their company without having to call and talk to somebody. And people don't want to do that these days.
People don't want to call. You know what I mean? Once you are able to give people easy ways to communicate through the website, you see those calls slow down, which I actually prefer, because it's just like the phone ringing 24/7. It's an issue. That's why there is online booking,
Right. We've been able to automate some of that stuff, right? You don't get away from customer service. And that's what detailers are so confused by. Well, if I have online booking, then I don't talk to my customer. Well, yeah, you do. It's not like you do away with that. But what happens is the customer can serve themselves for quite some time through the process. And then at the very end, it's the cool phone call. It's like, hey, okay, I'm down to, if I want ceramic coating or polymer seal, can you tell me which way? And you're like, hell yeah, I want to have that conversation.
Yeah. Instead of like, hey, how much is this or how much is that? Let your customer educate themselves on their own as much as they can on your website or on social media. You know what I mean? Use social media to your advantage of, hey, if you got a special going out or you got this different stuff, educate your customer of what's going on in the shop, from all avenues.
All right. So say you're getting, okay. So that's, we could talk about marketing forever, but say you're a new detailer.
Yep.
And you feel like everybody's your competition.
Man,
like everybody. I'm a new guy, and like there's a shop down the road, and they're blowing it out on social media. They're doing all the things I can't do.
Yep.
I got a guy down the street. He's putting out great work, but what do I do? How do I even compete in that world?
Man, what I would do is I would pick one thing, right? I would just do ceramic coating. I would just do interior shampoos. I would just do whatever the market needs the most right now, and that's a little testing it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just do that.
Be that guy.
Be that guy. And then slowly but surely you can keep growing your services as you build your customer base.
Right. Find that thing that's missing. It goes back to what we talked about first. Number one thing you do, find what's missing in the market and be great at it. Like find where they're messing up and be great. So chances are, if you got the big shop down the road, they've got employees, them employees are dropping the ball on something, right?
Yep.
Somebody's missing something. We're not perfect. We have 14 detailers now, or however many of them, and so there's going to be something. So in my message, it's me, doing this detail, and I'm telling everybody around that, hey, and I am giving my competition the roadmap for real. let me rethink this. Should I go ahead and say,
what are we doing this show for?
Yeah, you know what? Let me think how to tell them not to do it. No, so I'll finish that. But Billy Smith, provide a better service and promise, and under promise and over deliver. That's spot on.
Yeah,
but yeah, just like, if you're the one guy and you're competing with big shops and they seem to be getting all the work, you focus on what, like how you're great, how you're not going, it's one-on-one service, and every picture would have me in there doing the work. It would be me. You know what I'm saying?
And get that zoom in on Dustin's face.
Yeah, could we just like zoom all the way? So,
but the other part that sort of just came to me there is like, look, you're just starting out. You're getting your first customer, your 10th customer, your 20th customer, right? Figuring out ways for them to want to come back. You see what I'm saying? Because let's say you put a coat of wax on there, you detail their car, right? And then, hey, if you're not, is there a maintenance wash? Is there a maintenance option that can you see them again in 6 months? What's that next time you're going to see that customer? Or you're just going to sit there, wait by the phone? They're going to call me when they need me. Yeah. No, get proactive with that. Figure out how you're going to see that customer again.
You got to be willing to do the work. You can't listen. Hope is not hope. Oh, what's the damn saying? I got it wrote down in my office. Hope is not a good plan. Hope doesn't, like, you got to have a plan, right? And hope doesn't pay the bills. Okay. And one thing we talk about, all right. So when we talk about getting good at a service and being great at it and then moving on, when you start to develop that service, or when you start to do that service, you want to develop a process that then you can kind of put it on cruise control while it does itself. So like you think about why am I so great at this one thing, and then process that, put that in a process to where you can go focus on the next thing. Because if you're not building processes along the way, then it's really hard to continue to grow. You feel like you're just always,
you'll take that one step forward, 3 steps back, and I got to go fix this that I just set up 3 months ago because the process wasn't right. Yeah,
that's right. No, it's something you got to focus on, man. So, competition, beating the competition is not that hard, guys. We laid it all out here for you. I mean, I should see a bunch of people winning this race very soon.
Yeah. No, it's tough. It's tough, Dustin. Come on. That competition, right? Well, who put up that comment last week? It's you, right?
Billy Smith.
Yep.
He has no competition. Yeah.
It's just that you got to beat don't let yourself beat you. That's all.
That's it. Be willing to do the work, guys. A lot of lip service goes on in our industry. A lot of coulda, woulda, shouldas. Guys, sometimes you just got to do the work. You can have the idea, you can think about it, do the work, put it in, do what you say you're going to do. Billy Smith said it best, under promise, over deliver every time.
Yeah, he's got these sayings coming out. He's ready.
Dude, he's been in the business for 50 years, Killing it. Nah, he's good. That's my buddy, man. Me and Billy are tight. He's coming down he's coming down for the boat show.
Oh yeah,
yeah, man. So we got him.
I'm trying to get down there, man. I'm tired of this cold weather.
You have to come, dude. So look, Billy and Vandy are coming. Are we talking about boat show now? Or are we done with? Hang on, are we done with competition?
We already beat them. We've
already beat the competition. All right, let's talk about something cool now.
Man.
Yeah, so boat show this weekend, or next weekend. Billy Vandy are coming. Mike and Misty Carlin are coming. Yep. I think Joe Kimball and the crew are coming. I think they were. I even heard Christy Vest may be coming. So
we got to put that in a little detailed bookie MVP group. We got to get some MVPs down there.
Mike, what are they? I can't think of that. Is it Glide Coat? I can't think of the ceramic that's coming. There's another company coming. Man, they're gonna kick my butt if they're watching this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just drawing a blank. The caffeine's not working today.
Oh, what time is it? It's noon over here. Yeah.
It's noon here. We're in Central. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, big show coming in, man. Hopefully you can make it down for that. That'd be cool. We're excited about it.
And next week we're doing that show from the boat show?
From the boat show, yeah. So I'll be on stage there most likely. You'll see the big battleship in the background. Yeah. And always exciting it's Yacht Armor. Yacht Armor. I just thought of it. Yacht Armor. They'll be there. Damn. Anyways, so is it? Shit, I don't know.
No, oh man, they're gonna give you a hard time if they're watching.
I'm sorry. Oh shit!
It's Friday. It's Friday.
It's Friday, man. Give me some slack.
But I hope we helped out some people with beating the competition today.
Oh, we did.
You know what I mean? And if they leave some comments, make sure we're sharing this video to anyone that you think might need it.
Absolutely.
And, you let us know, and I think we'll get something special for next week for the boat show. We got to get a good topic next week.
Absolutely, we do. Guys, we're hyper focused on the business side of things. Liquid Armor. That's what I said. Thank you, Billy.
Thanks,
Look
Billy.
at him. Billy's running this show. Look, Billy's running this show. It's Billy's world. We're just living in it. What are we doing here?
Billy's a sponsor.
Dude, he's the producer. Thank you, Billy, as always. You're always covering before me. We go to training events, dude, and he's like the social butterfly. He knows everybody, and he knows all their names. And I'm just like, oh shit, man, who's that?
Oh man, I forget your name sometimes. I'm terrible.
I do too. I'm terrible at names. I am. All right, man. Listen, I want to tell everybody we're continuing with this business talk. You get the benefit of two guys that have been in detailing business for a long time, right? Mm-hmm. Built these big businesses. So use our conversation. We don't know it all. We're learning every day too. We're not claiming to be like gurus and the end all be all. We're just telling you what our experience is, what we've learned over the years, and it's come from gray hair and a lot of probably lost money.
Yeah,
but use our experience to kind of traject you forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great way to put it. People starting out, people that have been in business a while, or people that are even bigger than us, being like, "Hey, wait a second, let me look back, and that's where they're at. Yeah, I was at that stage. You know what I mean? It's all faded. Using us as an asset. It uses, we're here for you guys.
That's it, man. Look, dude, great show as always, brother. I appreciate you jumping on here, talking about how to whoop some competition's ass.
Yeah, it's always a good time.
All right, big dog. I will see you next week.
Next week. Appreciate it, Dustin.
All right, see y'all.